Hey everyone, welcome back. Amelia Roberts here, and in this video we are going to be talking about the true function in DAX using Power BI. Now let's go ahead and dive into this right away. What does it do? It returns the logical value true. Now, this function doesn't take any arguments, even though it does fall within the logical functions. It doesn't take any arguments. It's usually used as part of conditional expressions. So you are going to see in these examples, it is combined with other logical functions. If you have already watched the video or are already aware of the function false, it is similar to that. They go hand in hand. They are used very similarly. You just typically switch the places in which they are within the function. So you're probably also going to see the false function within here as well. But the syntax is very simple. It's just true with some parentheses, and it's going to return the logical value true. This is like having a positive affirmation of always returning the value true, depending on what condition you give. For my example here, I have a badge eligibility example. So if a student or a member reads a certain amount of books, then they are eligible for a badge, true. If they do not read that amount of books, then they are not eligible, false. So let's go ahead and head over to my laptop and see this in action. So here we are back in Power BI. I have a very simple table here where it just has all of the products. Let's go over to the table view on the left-hand side. We'll start with a calculated column of this example, and then we'll also make a measure to see what this looks like. I'm going to go into my internet sales table and head up and add a new column up at the top. So the column I'm going to make is I'm going to say if my sales amount is greater than a certain number, then I would like it to put true in this column. If it's not greater than that number, simply just put false. So I'm going to call this column, I'm going to call it my true example. I am going to use the logical if function. If you're unaware how the if function works, go ahead and go check out that video as well. It is very versatile, but it's pretty much giving a conditional statement. So I need to give it a logical test. That logical test is going to be my internet sales, and I'm going to refer to the sales amount. And the overall test is going to be if it's greater than or equal to 100. Now, since I'm still in the if function, remember you're going to use the true function with a conditional statement. I'm going to put a comma, and it says result if true. I am simply going to use the true function at this time. So that is going to be my result if true, put true. Now I'm going to put a comma and put my result if false. I'm actually also going to use the false function here. So what this says, as I've said before, I love to read my DAX back to myself to make sure that it is going to come out the way I want. If my sales amount is greater than or equal to 100, put true. If it's not, put false. I'm going to close off this parenthesis and go ahead and hit enter. So we can see a lot of falses here. A lot of my top values are well below 100. I'm going to drop this down and see what it has here. We do have true and false. I'm going to deselect false to see what my true values are. I just like to double check and make sure this is giving me what I want. So here are my true values. I'm going to go over to my sales amount column, which is right here, sales amount. These are all pretty high numbers. If I drop this down, then I should see everything above 100, which is exactly what I see. So this column turned out exactly how I wanted it to. I'm going to turn them both back on now because we are going to go head over back to the report view and try this out in a measure as well. So in my report view, I'm going to make sure I'm on my measure table up at the top, and then I'm going to go up and hit new measure. So what I'm going to call this is I'm also going to call this the true example. And what I want to know is if the sum of sales is over a certain number, I just want to know, yeah, it's over that amount. So I am going to put exactly that. Remember, your true function typically is going to go with other It's going to go with a conditional. Your measures are going to go with some type of mathematical calculation. I'm going to use sum for this instance. So my conditional is going to be an if statement. I need a logical test, which I'm going to do the sum of my internet sales and my sales amount for this example. Now I'm at the end of my sum function, so I do need to put a closing parenthesis here. And I'm still in my logical test. So if the sum of my internet sales amount is greater than or equal to, let's do 5,000. If it's greater than 5,000, then I would like you to put true. So here's where my true function is going to come in. If it is not, then I just wanted to put false. I'm going to put my false function once again. So now that I have finished my conditional statement, I'm going to close that off. Let's go ahead and hit enter for this. Remember, whenever you make a measure, you need to put it in a visual to see it in action. Let's go ahead and put it in this table that we have created. And you can see right there, falses and trues are all there. And I'm going to go ahead and put my total sales here as well, because it's going to be kind of nice to double check and see if this is actually what it should be. So notice where there are no total sales, those are blank because they just don't have any sales, it looks like. And then everything that is false, everything that's true is going to be above 5,000. Everything that's false is below 5,000. It's exactly what I want to see. So this worked the way I wanted it to. I'm very happy with it. If you like this video, keep checking out more DAX guides. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.